Hi, welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. Apparently darkness is the absence of light. Do you agree? It kind of makes sense, right? Kind of. Does it? I was just thinking deep about this. This morning, this afternoon, and yesterday about darkness and how prominent it has become within humanity, this world, and how we as a consciousness are focused on darkness than light. So what is darkness in truth? Jordan Maxwell, whether you like him or not, talked about darkness being when the wolves, when the robbers, and when everybody runs into the caves when we were apparently cavemen and women, and we hid and we had a fire because we were frightened of the dark and all of the scallywags that come out at night. And yet, most of us in truth are pulled towards darkness. And we don't seem to acknowledge it. None of us. That's why I thought about it this morning. Maybe a few of you have seen me get angry or upset and passionate or whatever it may be. Am I of the light? Is that of the light? So ask yourself, what intrigues you more than anything else on the black screen? Is it breaking news? Or is it somebody has just done something absolutely amazing in this world? It's almost like humanity's being programmed. And when you think about it, all it takes is for me to say something enough times for you to believe it. And when darkness realizes this, it weaves itself into the weak, into those who are fearful. Take, for instance, two businessmen next to each other, or business women next to each other in separate shops. Two florists. Are they going to smile and be happy with one another? Or are they going to fight for business? Ultimately, the idea of working together is the most beautiful thing in the world. So you have 10 florists and everybody flourishes. That's how the light should be. But unfortunately, because of singular individuals, and depending on what's going on in their life, they're going to fight for every customer before they go into your shop. They're going to fight for them to come into your shop, right? You're going to fight if you are desperate, if you're narcissistic, if you are fearful and scared of not making enough money to pay the rent. And then you get to another level of narcissism, darkness, evil almost. And that's those businesses that depend on customers in the sense of the only way they can get customers and the only way they can sell their product is if something happens to their customer. And the biggest and most dangerous, in my opinion, are the pharmaceutical industry. But they have a disguise. We help, we cure, we fix you. But you must ask yourself, when they're around a board table and their profits have gone down that year, and the only thing that's important is profit, not health or well-being, because health and well-being is exactly the opposite of why they're there. Health and well-being means that they don't have clients. Health and well-being means that their yacht needs to sell, or they're not going to buy the next condominium. So how do they sell their product? Well, if you're narcissistic, if you're of evil nature, you're going to push for certain ideologies. You see, we're never taught healing. We're never taught self-healing. We're never taught about looking after ourselves. The only thing we're ever taught is whenever we're not feeling too well, run to those people quickly. When in a matter of fact, your body is the most powerful healing tool in the world, and it heals itself on its own 99% of the time. If you just lie down and drink water like the dog, you will heal, because your body is super intelligent. And what goes on in your body when your body is venting and cleansing from what you eat or what you don't eat, because that's the cause normally, apart from stress and negative energy, what you put in your mouth and what you don't put in your mouth is normally a result of the cleansing, the purging. So when you think about it, like the little florist who may be a little bit bitter and jealous, she's going to start spreading rumours about the next door flowers and say that they come from bad source or whatever. You can easily do that, right? If you're that way inclined. So I find life interesting these days when I see more and more people becoming darker and darker. One of the things we teach in the Pure Energy Healing Academy here, and I'm proud of teaching it, and I learned valuable lessons from it, is that when I was a healer and a reader of people's futures, I could see clearly the jealousy, the anger, the bitterness, the fear of others losing clients because of me. Fear that I would be better than them. And that fear imploded. They self-combusted. They burnt themselves out from inside because of all of those things. Personally, I didn't have time to even think about it because I was so busy. And to be honest, the times that I was quiet, I used to be thankful and I used to meditate, and I always used to hear, it's time to heal. And then I realized that the reason why I'm quiet is not because I'm not good, it's because my body needed balance. And I can't be the conduit or the healer if I'm not well. And that's why you see many healers and psychics sick, ill, bitter, angry, fearful. Many. But the worst thing I saw was how they tried to protect their clients, to keep them for themselves. And that was a sure slip down the mountain for them, because one thing, they're not your clients and you don't own them. And when you spread fear, which ultimately is how they capture you, by telling you that there's something wrong and I need to spend longer on you and it's going to take a while, they're just simple ways of capturing your client so that they keep coming back to you in fear. And one of the things we teach on day 4 is that you as a singular healer, if you took 2 streets of houses and everybody in them houses came to you, you would live happily ever after being a healer. Just 2 streets of houses and you could live happily ever after, for sure. Depends on how many houses there are on that street, but I normally say there's about 100 houses on one street here. So 200 of houses times by 4, work that out. You could live happily ever after. So I see these people fighting for clients in these shows, and I smiled and stood back and thought to myself, if this is true, and there is 8 billion people in the world, not only how naive you must be, but how blind you must be. The fact that there's so many people in this world, you couldn't even possibly have more than 10 streets coming to you. Just wouldn't happen, wouldn't ever work, because you'd be too busy. And that's the way I train. I share my truth and guide people who become healers. And I think that's a great foundation. Never be jealous of somebody else's gift. Just admire and respect. Wow, that's beautiful. Darkness seems to be everywhere these days. Netflix, Disney, the black screen, the TV, the news. Even now, many podcasters, it's all darkness, all darkness. And somebody pointed out this morning, why isn't there more people shining a light? I will tell you this as a fact, and this is the truth. And I am not swayed by it, because you can look at all my videos and you can see that I've been as balanced as I can. And there are times I do talk in the darkness. I do say things that could come across as dark, or that would wind you up to be angry for me. Oh, I don't like what they're doing to you, Mark. And that's also darkness. Sometimes I have to vent, but most of the time, if you look at my videos, I'll do videos on things that interest me and things that are really positive. Take, for instance, crystals. If you look at most of the crystal videos, you'll clearly see that they've only had a few thousand, if a few hundred. Look at the videos that talk about fear, talk about the main topic. You'll see thousands. Mainly, and this is definitely true, there was once a newspaper that solely put out good news. And I was told this by Mrs. Nixon, one of my first history teachers at school that I fancied. Yeah. It lasted 3 months and went into bankruptcy. So nothing's really changed, has it? What do we look for? What do we want? We want drama. We want fear. In fact, we like fear. In fact, that's why many films are all about blood, guts, heads chopping off, people running around with machetes and chainsaws, scream, all of these things that bring fear to us. Everything on the black screen is about what so-and-so's done, who's a bad person. But very, very, very rarely do you see anything positive. So it could be argued that the reason why we have the world that we have is because we deserve the world that we have. Again, the great man called Jordan Maxwell said it. You deserve the government you get, and you get the government you deserve. And I hope you understand that now by what I've just said about life in general and about what we watch on TV and what we hear. Some of you will be screaming at the screen now saying that's not true, it's not what I want, it's not what I watch. But let me tell you, you are very few and far between. So beautiful you, keep shining, keep being amazing. Are we losing the battle? I don't think we're losing it. I think we're just becoming more aware of darkness every day, because many people feed it and many people want it. And most heartbreaking of all, many people defend it. They will fight tooth and nail to have the the darkness, the breaking news. You take that away from them and see what happens to you. You take away the tablets, you take away pharmaceutical, and you see what happens. And you decide to change this world and bring in love and healing. You change this world and say, no, maybe this isn't good for you, your lager, your beer. It's the only thing you've got, right? And you'll fight tooth and nail for it. Same with your cakes, same with your chocolates. It's the only thing I have. Everything else in life is crap. This is the only thing that gives me the fix. So in truth, humanity doesn't want to be healed. It wants to be left alone and stop judging. And we judge every day. Those that eat chocolates judge those that eat chocolates. Those that drink beer judge those that drink beer. And so on. We're a world of judgment. And it's easy to see because you just bump into somebody, and if you've got nothing to talk about, then you'll talk about football. Who's your favourite team? Or you'll talk about who's your favourite leader or guru, or who's your favourite actress or singer, because that's how we believe we interact. That's the only thing we have in common. So there's more and more evidence that darkness is becoming part of our nature. It's becoming ingrained. It's weaving into us. And some would even argue that it's been inside us since we were children. From the moment we were slapped, from the moment we were injected, darkness and the infiltration of love and pureness has gone. So what do? All doom and gloom, Mark? Not really. Everything that I share with you is an eye-opener, a penny drop moment, an awakening moment for you to just step back and ponder on the words. What now? What next? So what are you asking me to do? I'm not asking you to do anything. But I always used to say to my clients, when they used to say, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like this. Oh my God. And I'd say, hey, you should be thankful. Why? Because you now recognize what it is you need to change. Do you know how many people live through life and never, ever get to see what they needed to change? This is a blessing. And I do believe with my hand on my heart, there are more and more people who are recognizing what they need to change. It's not necessarily about what you need to change out there, but what you need to change within. So we do this day to day. We work hard on ourselves, drip by drip, slowly, slowly. No rush, no fighting, no diets, just a lifestyle change. One day at a time. The less crap I put in my mouth and poisons, the more healthy goes in. The more healthy that goes in, most healthy medicine, fruit, vegetables, all the good things. The less crap you put in your mouth, the less poisons. That makes sense, right? Just changing your water consumption, saving up. I'd like to buy a filterization. I'd like to clean my water. I'd like a reverse osmosis. I'd like ozone water. I just want to feel better, and you will if you change your water, because of course it's been poisoned, or for the sake of your health. I remember reading something that sent shivers down my spine, and it was about something that could be a lie. It could be there deliberate, but it was written all about how this world works and how a certain few people in this world have always tried to dumb us down, make us feel sick, poison us, for all the reasons that I said earlier on. And it was in the water, it was in the food, it was in everything, and they would change the labels and make you believe that what you're eating is healthy, but it wouldn't be. And when I read this years ago, I was 38, it sent shivers down my spine. And it was a very hard pill to swallow, pardon the pun. But it made me look a little bit that maybe everything that I was taught could be a lie. Is it possible? And the more I researched from people who actually did the work or experienced certain things, say like they were in the war, they were in France when the war was on, and what they felt about the English, and everything didn't make sense. I started studying a little bit about a man called Churchill that everybody loves and thinks was wonderful, but when you start to do the deep research and realize everything that we were taught and everything that is being taught to this day is probably more of a lie than truth. Every war that's ever been created, because it doesn't just happen, is created for a purpose of business, because war is big business. Sickness is never natural, it's created. And I know you're going to be spitting at the screen now, but I've done research for a long time, listened to many people, and I truly come to the conclusion through my own work, everybody who lays down in front of me who is sick is normally sick because of what they put in their mouth and what they listen to on the black screen and what's being created outside, which is fear, hatred, separation, poisons in the food. All of these things are man-made. Man-made TV telling you what you should and shouldn't do. Governments giving you laws. All of these things that you think are wonderful, but laws are always broken by the very people who create them. In fact, they don't even participate in that energy. It's only for low-hanging fruit. So I come back to the same place as I was. We've gone in a circle now, but the truth is we are now at a point that we recognize that something's very wrong. You can't tell me that everything's fine, because it's not. People are more hateful. People are more disconnected. People point the finger day by day at everything and anybody, partly because they want to feel better themselves, partly because they don't want to look at themselves. They're angry because of the anger inside. You can't tell me if you find somebody balanced and happy that they get angry over anything because they're balanced and happy. You're only angry when you're unbalanced. So when I'm angry and I'm getting mad, it's because I'm unbalanced. I'm overworked. I'm stressed, overly stressed, not eating correctly. But when you are balanced and you're eating healthy, God forbid that we had the time to be able to do that. When people say, oh, gurus are amazing. I've met many gurus who are out of balance, who get angry very quickly. And some that aren't, I can see why, because they're treated like a little diva's dog. Beautiful, kind, and whatever they want. It's easy to live in happiness when you don't have to do anything. When all you have to do is just sit there and say a few nice words. That's why I always say they're not really the gurus, you're the guru. Because you have to get up in the morning and go to damn work that you might not even like. And you have to pay your bills because you don't know when the next knock at the door comes to take your furniture away. You have to look after your children, you have to look after yourself, you have to take care of everything. And then at the same time try and help somebody. You have to do all of these things and balance it out. And you think a guru is a guru when after he gives one talk, he gets put onto a nice jet plane back to his ashram and left there for 6 weeks to live in harmony with great food and no stress. No, that's not the guru. You're the guru. And I'm hated for saying these things. I'm hated. I'm hated because people don't want to believe that they're the guru. Can you imagine? I've said this so many times. I look in your eyes and see that the power in you is so powerful that it breaks my heart because you can't see it. Now, I'm equally as guilty. I always say sorry. Always say sorry. I can't help myself. I'm always feeling that I've done something wrong. When somebody says, Mark, I go, what? I panic. Why? Because I've been programmed that way. I've been beat as a child. I've been told by my teachers I'm not good enough, and I have to work on unlearning that. I've done over 10,000 hours of healing on clients all over the world, and yet still here I am working on myself. And what does that mean? It means that we are all work in progress. There is never an end. I talk about the mountain you climb, but that's a dream. Nothing wrong with a dream. Keep climbing. Because sometimes the dream is never what you expect anyway. I wished my life every day when I turn my head, and you think it's turning for a woman, but it turned for a mobile home. I wanted a mobile home because I remember as a kid, that was the only joy we got. The only time my dad didn't beat us when we were in the mobile home going to Poland. So I dreamed of a mobile home every day. And 5 years ago, a deal came up down the road that there was a mobile home, and it was it less than 5 years ago, 3 years ago, when COVID started, and the company went bust, and they were selling a mobile home, and I could sell this mobile home now for 20,000 more than what it's worth, than what I paid for it. 20,000 more. And do you know what it does? It sat in our farm doing nothing every day. And do you know the most hurtful thing is when I come home and see it, and I don't have that feeling that I had before I owned one. So I say to people, enjoy the dream, because the reality of a dream is really just the reality, not the dream. And the dream itself is the most beautiful part. And you might think that's selfish, and you might say to me, you're a spoil. Maybe you're right, I am. But I'm just telling you the truth. Every day when I turn my head to look at a mobile home, and my ex-wife used to say, what's wrong with you? And she ended up being the same as me. And she's got a mobile home now. She's got a little mobile home. She knows what I mean now, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter whether it's a mobile home. It doesn't matter what you dream. Just dream. And don't lose your dream. Don't ever lose your dreams. And keep creating new dreams. Because it's them dreams that keep us going. And the day that you don't have a dream, I think, is the most heartbreaking moment of our life. So learn to dream. And dream big. Focus more on positivity. Look towards more things that make you happy. Look towards people that speak good and kind. Those that create. Those that are filled with love and joy. But that's the energy that will change this world. I do believe in truth, and truth sometimes is painful. But I think we've had enough doses of truth for all of us. So I speak not only to you, but to myself. I need to learn to start speaking more love, kindness, give more, share more. And I make this promise to you, I will do my best to be that person. And if I've let you down in any way, here goes the old mark again. I'm sorry. I do apologise. I have never meant to hurt anybody. I have never wanted to hurt anybody. I have never had a malicious bone in my body. And the only thing I want to see around me and on these streets are happy people. And if you know me, and if you've ever come to any of my circle nights, any of my retreats, one of the most powerful things I used to say, what used to just come out of my mouth, is promise me you'll skip tomorrow. And promise me it doesn't matter who's watching, you will be the child again and skip. So I make this promise to you. After this video, I am going to go out of this door and I'm going to start to skip again for as long as I need to do. And I'll just skip with my joy, what is within. That's been a while since it's come out, the child within. And I think we all should work on the child within, because that child within, there were some good times we had. Yes, we had pain, we were abused, we suffered. Some of us had great mothers and some of us not so good. But there was a moment of pureness, of free from worry and fear. And that's what we need to get back again. And we can either feed the fear and worry by everything that we see on the screen, or we can make the change today. So if you want to make that promise with me, for the next 7 days, let us not focus on breaking news, on Fox News or CNN or BBC or any radio show that's negative. We'll just totally focus on the positive. And I will make videos every day and lives in the morning on positive and all the things that we can do to heal, strengthen, and I'll give you golden nuggets of my truth. If they help, or if they don't, at least they're there and I'm doing my bit. And the way you can help too is by sharing your love to all your friends. Sending a message to somebody just saying, it's been a long time, I'm just thinking about you. I hope you're well. And I love you very much, whether it's your family or your friends. And let's create, let's do some creation. Let's create in this world. And most of all, everything that I share with you now is about working on yourself. And don't feel selfish for doing that, because it's a win-win. Work on yourself, give yourself moments of meditation, time for yourself, choose right food, listen to your body, do all the things that feel right, go outside and go for a walk for yourself, do things that Mother Earth gives us freely, and start to focus on you and watch your life change. Don't focus on who's the next Prime Minister or who this Prime Minister is or what they're going to do in this smart 15-minute cities. Just say to yourself, I've had my doses, I've done as much as I can do, and have a break for these 7 days. It's only 7 days, but don't focus on them. If they come up, let them go and focus on something else. And let's see where that gets us. Because after 7 days, if we're strong and powerful, then maybe we might start sharing truth again. But maybe it's a good time for us to shine some light. Awaken the light within. Have a great day, guys, from my heart to yours. And thank you so much for always supporting markbajerski.com. Your crystals, your oils, your incense, your teas, everything on there. Thank you so much, guys. It's really appreciated from the bottom of my heart, and I hope it's helped you. Thank you so much. Take care. Love you all.